Okay, time for a perfectly normal dev. Oh, yeah, what the? Ah! Okay, I'll explain all of this, stuff in a second, but I just want to start this video by thanking all of you. All of these devlogs have been doing extremely good as of late, so I really want to thank you all for all of your support, all of your comments, all of your likes. You have no idea how much it makes my day, so thank you. And yeah, this is officially one of my favorite things I've ever coded. So if you don't know, yesterday was April 1st, so we always like to try and sneak something in for various different holidays, be it Christmas, Halloween, or Valentine's Day. And one of my favorite ones is April Fools. Now, previously, we had the Masked Rider event, which was essentially every rider from Masked Rider ended up taking the name that they had in Masked Rider. So, for example, the one off the top of my head is Shadow Moon, or the Cheese Man, became Robo Rider, and of course Black RX became Masked Rider, and I believe Amazon became Rider Man. Don't quote me on that, but I didn't like the fact that we had an exclusive item, the Furbish music disc, to the event, because if we ever decide to remove this event, it means this Furbish disc is no longer obtainable. I know there's a lot of people out there that would consider that a bonus. So I wanted to do something this year that didn't have any exclusive items, as well as something we could potentially expand upon in the future. One of the things I absolutely love about Minecraft's April Fool's jokes is, even though they don't use like 99% of the stuff they use in the April Fool's joke, there is the odd item or concept or idea that kind of makes it in from the April Fools into the actual game. And I kind of want to do the same thing with this. We added SD, which is an effect that makes your head bigger, and then for the riders that are actually part of the SD Kamen Rider series, they take on a different texture. Now currently this is just an effect that's exclusive to April 1st, but I think going forwards we're going to change this. Now we have a couple of ideas and concepts of ways that you could get this effect after the event. Let me know what you think and or your ideas. My personal idea is a block that kind of makes an SD zone where everything inside of its range just gets the SD effect. Think of the anti-gravity block on the moon. This means we could like add the base from SD Kamen Rider and have that kind of in the core of the base. So it's like if you walk into the base, you become the SD Kamen Rider or something stupid. I know Chair is considering a was it a VHS tape or a game or something like that? Might have been a manga. I don't know. There are a ton of little ideas. Let me know what you think we should do with this. And like I said, we got textures for the SD Kamen Riders. Chair sorted out all of these. So we have the Ichigo Nigo, the V3 Rider Man. I'm looking at these going, these two probably should be the opposite way around on these armor stands now. I couldn't just remember if you were X or Super 1. You're X, aren't you? Amazon, Stronger, Guy Rider, Super 1, Zekros, Black Oryx, Shin, and J. Which one's J? Which one's Zo? That one's J. That one's Zo. So, for some reason, J doesn't have one. Now, do you remember a couple of devlogs ago when I said that Chair wanted to add a new version of Tackle? Yeah, this is what we were planning back then. As well as some of the villains, so the Shocking Riders. Ended up getting it, not all of them, because not all of them got shown. As well as this dude got it. The Apollo Geist, or as Apollo Green as we all call him in the Discord. And you might have even noticed in my last devlog that I'd set up this display stand over here. Yeah, that's because this is all of the ones with new forms. Not gonna lie, I didn't know the Shocker Riders were getting new ones, or they probably should have been over here as well. But you can see, yeah, this has been in the works for a few weeks now. Now, the effect I absolutely love because it should affect everything that has a head. Now, some mobs are immune to effects, so therefore they cannot get this effect, as well as some mobs just don't work with the code that I've coded. But for the most part, this should affect most mobs. And unfortunately, the Rider Man helmet is a bit glitchy at the moment with it. If I go out of range, look, giant. Come back in. It's small. I have no idea what's doing that. Have I ever said I'm not actually good at coding? Because I'm not actually good at coding. So I kind of just wanted to show you, yeah, it does affect mobs. I think this looks funny. Some mobs, like cows, as I said, are set up differently, so they don't have the same head bone kind of thing as these dudes, hence the reason I could do it to these and not these. Now, technically, they're using armor, not the head, but this is using the head. This is still the funniest thing I've coded in a long time. And yes, if you're wondering, if you want to use a command to give them SD, you can make their heads even bigger. I have far too much power. Oh, actually, there's normally mobs under. Yeah, you can see, look, working with zombies. These mobs spawned in after, so they didn't get it. It doesn't work with creepers for some reason. It works with some mobs and not other mobs. I do want to improve this in the future, but I think for just the kind of April Fool's joke that I was going for, I think this works incredibly well. Let me know. Did I do good with this? I'm really happy with this. This is so much less creepy to look at now. So now that April 1st is over, the effect is gone. Now, as I said, I kind of want it so going forwards, the things we implement in April Fools kind of get implemented after. So I don't think the SD effect is going to return next year, but we're going to find something for it. There's going to be another use. But I think it's time to talk about some of the stuff that we've added that aren't giant heads. Not that giant heads are boring or anything, it's just they're kind of creepy. I've got a feeling you might be excited about this one. But before we get onto that, let's go on to something I've been working on. You don't know, over the last month or so, we've been slowly updating the Showa stuff. So we got the Ichigo, the Nigo, the Rider Man, the V3, I went through all of these earlier, but you can tell that they have all nice custom models, and the only one that didn't was Black. Yeah, I've updated Black. So, Henshin. I'm still really happy with this. I tried to keep a lot of the design cues I had from Black RX in this. Let me know, does this kind of work? I'm also kind of worried about the little kind of gooey, veiny, vessely, gooey bits that are on Black's suit. I don't know how well they translated because I couldn't work out if they were more brown or more red, or a bit of both. Let me know, do you think I did a good job at translating them over? Because I tried to keep a bit of the original texture in this design, but update it a bit. I don't know. I think I did a good job. And I think this actually looks really nice against the other Showa Riders. Especially Black RX. This does actually feel like it's part of the same kind of suit design as that one. Oh, and here's the before and after. I think that's a massive difference. But I didn't just update Black. Of course, I updated the other form. This is Batman. It appeared in the show, but we didn't really ever get clear pictures or images of it. So I kind of based this a bit on the show design, as well as a bit on this SIC figure. I also think this is a massive difference compared to what it used to be in the mod. So here's a nice look at the two forms next to each other. As well, I'm going to have to update these next, aren't I? We must make friends with the cheese man. And just a small one, Hosif. Updated V1. Yeah, it's V1, there's not much to say. But what it does mean is now, as far as Agito is concerned, all we need now is the another Agitos. As we have Agito Gills G3, G4, G4X, G1, G4, G3 mild, G6, V1, the Agito Miracle. Sure, there's another one. Where is she hiding? The Agito Trinity from the manga. So I think all we're missing now for Agito, as I said, is updating the other Agitos. And, well, G7 probably should get onto that. So now that we've got all of that out the way, it's time to pay your dinner attention. See what I did there with time? That wasn't intentional, I just noticed it as I was saying, and I think that's funny. So, thanks to Andrew, we have an updated Kamen Rider Deno. Yay, it's even 3D. I'm actually I'm a massive fan of the way this turned out. With the way the shoulder pads kind of look, and I like this. I like this. Let me know. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think Andrew did a good job? But we don't just have sword form. We have platform. I've already showed you sword form. Rod form. Axe form. The axe is there, honestly. I'm not going to call this... I'm not going to say the name of this form just in case. But it's here as well. Yeah, I'm not going to say the name of this one as well for the same reason. Wing form. As well as the upgraded version of the previous form. Look, I have wings like a pretty butterfly. And, of course, we have liner form. I think this looks amazing. Especially because it has that little thing on the top. What's it called? What's it called? I have no idea. I don't know trains. Somebody who knows trains, tell me, what's it called? And I've just realised I'm missing. I am not down there. I am not down there. Oh, I am down there. I'm just absolutely tiny. Yeah. Boom. And of course we've got pudding. Yeah, I can't take this form seriously. The fact that it's got SD, small, and flat. This is all kinds of hilarious. Now, we did also get a few new additional forms. Now, they're variants on a form we already got, but I think it's still cool. First things first is the Rider Punch variant, where all the kind of imagine go on the one arm. Which is really funny, because you punch using the opposite hand. Sorry, I just think that's kind of funny. We also have the Rider Kick variant that, of course, lets you Rider Kick. I know it's little, but I find this absolutely amazing. But it wasn't just Deno. We also got this dude. Can't remember what he's called. What's it called? I'm sure it begins with something. Does it begin with Z or Z? Zine. That's it. We have Zine. There's going to be somebody who doesn't get that joke there. We have Platform, Altair, Vega. I love this form. Unfortunately, Andrew. Glitching forehead. Fix it. But honestly, I can't look at this form without thinking of the Dragon Zord. Am I the only one? The fact that it just, you know how the Dragon Zord attaches to the original Megazord, and like the Dragon Zord's Dinger missile things become shoulder parts. Yeah, this form really reminds me of the original Megazord combined with the Dragon Zord. And we also have Zero. Called Zero because nobody remembers him. Got to admit, now that things have really started to upgrade, I'm really liking the way this is looking. I mean, yeah, it kind of drops off at Hibiki, and then again after Eva. But if I stand here and you just pretend Hibiki's not there, it looks pretty good, right? I love the fact that we can now spend the time and start upgrading stuff. I mean, over here where I have all the final forms, this is looking absolutely amazing. Now, there's a few extra little things I kind of probably should show off. Things like the fact that now you can open the panel thanks to Blurtle, or the fact that now the bike does the little flip when it transforms. Or mention the fact that we fixed a massive bug in between this mod and Super Sentai Craft that caused it to crash occasionally. Yeah, we fixed that though. But to be honest, I think I might just end this video here. I am extremely tired and I've had to record a good chunk of this video twice because I forgot to hit record. So you know what I'm gonna say? Till next time, noopy.